So it's time to change the wire on my welder. So I thought I'd show everyone what I do to change the wire on this older machine. I can no longer buy a roll of wire that fits this spool. I need something with a hole this size. The only wire I can buy these days, I have to modify, cut the opening to fit here. There's only a few rolls they sell that have an opening big enough for me to cut. I'll bring you in for a closer look to see. So what I have to do, I'll take the plastic off. To get this to fit on here, I have to cut this center out. And I do it with a coping saw. And then it will slide on there. I can't buy a roll these days that just slides on here. I've looked everywhere, and even now there's only one kind left. And this is from Canadian Tire that I can modify to fit this older welder. It's a pain in the butt, but once it's done, a spool of wire lasts me quite a long time. And this welder still works really well, so it's worth it. So I'll show you how I do it. It's a fiddly thing, screwing around with this saw. So basically I have to loosen this off so the blade lets go. So then you got to put the blade through here. I've had to do this for a number of years now. You just can't buy a roll of wire that fits this welder anymore. This is from a company that used to make welders. They're called Canox. I spared you the struggle with that saw. So now basically I just got to cut every one of these off. Here's one. So yeah, I cut this piece out and it'll slide on there now. So now I have to get the saw back off. Yeah, this is a bit of a pain in the butt. So that, I'll put this back together later. So I'll just check everything. I may actually have to trim these. We'll see. Nope, it fits on. But there's one more thing I have to do before I can fit that on. See this little piece here? Helps. It's part of turning the spool. I have to cut a little notch out of this wheel so that it fits onto that. I'll show you close up. So I'll have to cut a notch in it so it fits that little space right there. So then when this spins, it will turn the roll. And I'll do that with this saw. So the wire's coming off this way, meaning it's wound that way. So you have to be careful once you do get this loaded that you have to have the string to feed it into the motor. And do not let go of this. If you let go of this, it will completely unwind itself and you've lost $25. So I'll put it on like that. And then we'll cut a notch. I'll use this hole. I'll cut a notch here to fit there. So I've almost got it cut. There. Should fit in there now. And it does. Okay. So now I can begin to feed it into the motor, into the line. So yeah, now that I've got it, it fits on there, it's on there, it's in the slot. I no longer, because it's a different roll and it's not meant for this spool, when you put this cotter pin in, it doesn't hold up tight against the, so this can actually move as you're using it. So what I had to do to hold it still was take an old one of these and there, now this can't fall off the end or fall out of this slot. So as awful as this looks, there's a big gap. All this has to do is hold this spool on and in this slot, and then everything's good, and the wire will feed properly through the motor at the line to the trigger. That's why this thing's on the end. Cotter pin holds it in place and we're all good. This will not fall off its track or out of this slot. Everything's good. So when loading wire into this machine, you also have to make sure that you don't bind anything. Like, it has to be able to turn nicely. And when you feed your wire into here, this clamps down on the wire, puts a little bit of pressure so that the motor can grab the wire and send it through the line. But don't over tighten this, because one, you can either snap the line and it all unravels itself, or you can burn this motor out. So I've been told. They're not the greatest thing in the world, or the most powerful motors. So be very careful. You just want the wire in there enough that it's snug and the motor's grabbing it and sending it forward through the line up to your trigger. And that's it. If you get it wrong, you'll be the first one to know. It's the part I always hated the most. Okay, gotta get rid of this paper, which I should have taken off when it was off. Now it's gonna be a bitch. I got no fingernails. There we go. Okay, here it goes. And you do not want to do this wrong. Because if it all unravels, you've lost $25 and you're starting over again with a new roll. So you want to cut this. Just pull it a little bit till it's no longer kinked. So you want to feed it in here. Feed it in through. I send it a little ways by hand. There's little teeth on this wheel. So when this goes down, you put a little bit of pressure on it. My hands are kind of in the way. And this is just a guessing game as far as tightness goes. So now I will leave that. I'll get it started up, pull the trigger, and see if it draws the wire. Alright, here goes. So yeah, that's what I have to do every time I need a new roll of wire. That's what it takes to put a spool of wire on this old welder. It's a really good welder, works great for sheet metal. I don't know if I'd want to weld anything too thick with it, but for sheet metal it's perfect. It's a flux core wire, flux core wire welder, so you don't need gas. By the way, what do you think of my cart? It's made from an old lawnmower. I use it mostly to push around my generator all over the property, so I don't have to carry it. But it's a handy little cart. Put tools back here. Holds my generator up at the front. I could push it all over the property. So yeah, I don't know if anyone found this interesting, but that's what it takes to load this older machine with a new roll of wire. I promise you the new welders are a lot easier. It takes seconds to put a roll of wire on a new machine. And the new machines are smaller. They're like an inverter welder, they call them. I'd like to get one someday, but for now this one works. I'm using it. This machine goes back to 1988. My father and I purchased this. It was a shared purchase. We both used it at one time when he was alive. By the time we bought the machine, the helmet, and a few things to go with it, it was about $1,000. We split that back in 1988, and the machine is still going. The welder is still working. Nothing's ever happened to it. I'm not sure why Canox went out of business. They made good welders. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed it.